Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदी। रबर बैंड है, रबर बैंड है। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Anyone who gives a recitation, anyone who gives an oral reception to the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam daily, which happens in all ISKCON temples, the Srimad Bhagavatam gives them a promise and blessings that all that is troublesome in their heart will be eradicated. And what is troublesome in our heart? Lust, anger and greed are the three gateways to hell that are troublesome in our heart. So anyone who listens to Srimad Bhagavatam on a daily basis, they will be nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu, he says. All that is troublesome to the heart will be eradicated. And loving devotional service, Lord Sri Krishna will be awakened in the heart of a devotee. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So let us do this verse today, 10, the canto, 13th chapter, text number 25. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. Go Gopinam Matritasmil 10, 13, 25. 10.13.25. The verse will come there? No, it won't come.
I think they're seeing on the phone.
Yeah. So devotees can repeat that verse. Go Gopinam Matritasmil Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Harestoka Purovat Asvapi Hare Tokata Mayaya Vina Go Gopinam Matritasmil Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina Go Gopinam Matritasmil Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina.
Gopinam Matritasmin Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Hare Tokata Mayaya Vina
Tokata Mayaya Vina.
Gopinam Matritasmin
Go Gopinam Matritasmil Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina.
Go Gopinam Matritasmin
Go Gopinam Matritasmil Asit Snehardhikam Vina Purovadasvapi Hares Tokata Mayaya Vina. Matajis? Okay, you can give the mic to Prabhu. Prabhuji will read word to word and translation. One more mic is there?
Go Gopinam.
Go Gopinam.
Both the cows and the gopis.
For both the cows and the gopis.
The elderly cowherd women.
The elderly covered women.
Matrita.
Matrita.
Motherly affection.
Motherly affection.
Asmin.
Asmin.
Unto Krishna.
Unto Krishna.
Asit. There ordinarily was. Sneha. Of affection. Radhikam. Any increase. Vina. Without. Purahavat. Like before. Asu. There was among the cows and the gopis. Api. Although. Hareha. Of Krishna. Tokata. Krishna is my son. Maya Vina. Without Maya.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Previously, From the very beginning, the Gopis had motherly affection for Krishna. Indeed, their affection for Krishna exceeded even their affection for their own sons. In displaying their affection, they had thus distinguished between Krishna and their sons. But now that distinction disappeared. Should we chant together?
Yes.
Okay. Previously, from the very beginning, the Gopis had motherly affection. For Krishna. Indeed, their affection for Krishna exceeded even their affection for their own sons. In displaying their affection, they had thus distinguished between Krishna and their sons. But now, that distinction disappeared.
Purport. Again read.
The distinction between one's own son and another son is not unnatural. Many elderly women have motherly affection for the sons of others. They observe distinctions, however, between those other sons and their own. But now, the elderly Gopis could not distinguish between their own sons and Krishna. For since their own sons had been taken by Brahma, Krishna had expanded as their sons. Therefore, their extra affection for their sons, who were now Krishna himself, was due to bewilderment resembling that of Brahma. Previously, the mothers of Sridama, Sudama, Subala, and Krishna's other friends did not have the same affection for one another's sons. But now, the Gopis treated all the boys as their own. Sukadev Goswami therefore wanted to explain this increment of affection in terms of Krishna's bewilderment of Brahma, the Gopis, the cows, and everyone else.
Yeah. So the context in which this verse is being spoken here is that once when Lord Krishna went to forest with his coward boyfriends, and in the bank of Yamuna, he suggested to his friends that, my dear friends, this bank of Yamuna is so beautiful. The sandy beach, like golden sand powder, is so nice place for us to sit and have our lunch. And it's also having shady trees which offer us shade from the hot sun. And also there are abundant grasses, lushy green grasses available for our cows to herd. And immediately there is water right next to us. And cows can eat the grass and drink water. So this is my choice of place for today, to sit and have our lunch. What do you think? So all the coward boys very happily agreed. Anumodan, they all gave. And they all sat in a circle around Krishna and they were all eating. At that time, Lord Krishna, due to his intimacy with the coward boys, coward boys would sometimes take a rava laddu or a cake or something like that and put in Krishna's mouth. Krishna would eat half and then they would eat. Sometimes they would eat half and Krishna would eat. So, this is not possible in the ordinary sense in this world, because when we offer bhoga to the deities, Radha Gopi Vallabha, there's a Shodasha Upachara and all we have to do. And the pujaris have to be very clean. We do mudras to prepare the food before offering. There are mudras, there are mantras to be chanted, and then idam asanam, the Lord has to be given a sitting place to sit. In fact, by mistake also, if you touch eyes or ears or nose, any hole of your body, immediately you have to do achaman. Because the altar is a very clean place, sanctified place. So while offering to Lord, we have to be very attentive. Nobody would dare to eat any food before it is offered to Lord Krishna. We don't even taste it. Even the Matajis who cook, they don't taste the food. First, directly they will offer to Krishna. And only then we are allowed to taste. Jai Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha ki jai. So that is a standard that we know of, and that's a standard even demigods know of. Even Brahma, Indra and all, when they offer food to the Lord. But here is a different standard in Vrindavan, where the coward boys are tasting a rava laddu and saying, hey, wow, Krishna, this rava laddu is very nice, try it out. And then they are giving to Krishna. So, this was very bewildering to the chief of all demigods, which is Brahmaji, who was flying in the sky on his swan carrier. And he watched from the top. He said, "What is this? I heard that the Supreme Lord has incarnated in this Dwapara Yuga as Lord Krishna. But this boy doesn't appear to be like that Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Huh? He appears to be like ordinary covered boy. Huh? Let me conduct a test." He thought like that in his mind. Huh? So, what was the test he conducted? That is explained in this chapter. The Brahma thought that if I steal away his friends and the calves and hide them in a cave, then this poor boy will cry and he will beg me for returning them all back. Then it will be proven that he is not God. That was his idea. He has to come to beg me. So, when Krishna and covered friends were eating, so Brahmaji stole the calves first and hid them in a cave. And then the covered boys suddenly, after finishing their meal, they were worried. What happened to the calves? When they were getting up in the middle of their food, at that time Krishna told them, "My dear friends, why are you bothered about your calves? I am here to take care of you. Take care of your calves. You all continue eating. I'll come in a moment back. I'll bring back all the calves." And Krishna went ahead searching after the calves. So when Krishna left for searching the calves, now the covered boys were alone. Brahma could again steal them also. First he stole calves, now he stole covered boys and hid them all in the same cave. Now when Krishna came back, guess what? Who was present there? No one. So Krishna was in anxiety. Where are my friends? Where are the calves? And Brahma was watching the drama from the top. And that's what he wanted precisely. And Brahma, for a moment, he thought, I'll go back to my abode and come, because he is the top manager of the whole universe. So he went for an year to his abode. 1 year in this planet is just one moment in the Satyaloka. So he went and then he returned. In the meantime, what Krishna did, that's what we are reading here today. So Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is not impossible for him? He expanded himself into as many number of covered boys and calves, which were exactly looking similar. Like, look at each of the boys sitting here. Everybody has a very unique type of face cut. And you have a unique type of pigment of your color of your skin. And your face cut is different from each other. And not only the face cut and the skin color, but you also have certain natures which are unique to you. You may have a liking for something. If you ask some of them say, I like Rasagulla. One may say, no, I like Gulab Jamun. Somebody says, no, I like Shrikhand. If 3 sweets are provided, you may choose different sweets because you have different preferences. Is it not true? In eating habits. Similarly, each of you may have different mannerisms also. Different boys have different type of mannerisms. So, mannerism means your behavior. For example, somebody may laugh in a certain way. Somebody laughs without showing the teeth. Somebody laughs showing all the 32 teeth. You've seen that? Different people. Somebody is a very bold personality, extrovertish. Somebody is very introvertish. They occasionally speak. They feel shy. So all these are natures that are unique to each of us. So when Krishna expanded, the beauty of Krishna's expansion is that the height of the boy, if a boy was stocky, like Madhumangal, Krishna was also stocky. If a boy was thin, he was also thin. And the type of nose, type of eyes, type of hair, some people have curly hair, some people have straight hair. So Krishna exactly resembled the covered boys. That's the way he expanded himself. So that is the meaning of God. God can do anything. And also the external appearances, the mannerisms, the speech, behavior, all the natures, swabhav, everything exactly matched. Nobody, even in the wildest of the dreams, can even think that these boys are not the boys and they are Krishna. Nobody can think like that. That's the way Krishna expanded so precisely. Therefore, when God does something, He does it so precisely, nobody can copy it. Like, one doctor was telling that if any part of your body breaks, say leg broke or hand broke or you got some fracture or something, it cannot be made as perfect as the original creator has made it. You can ask any doctor, will tell you. Because God makes things so precise in this body. And when you make it second time, repair it, it's like second hand only. It's not first hand. The first hand is Krishna's hand. He does everything very perfectly, he does. So that's the way he expanded. And now Krishna, when he returned back, see, some boys would play bugles. Bugles is like a buffalo horn. And other boys also carried flutes, like Krishna Balaram would carry flutes. So they also carried flutes besides Krishna. So if a boy was playing flute regularly, on the day when Krishna was going back to the home, he also would play the flute. Other boy would play the bugle, like that. Because then only mother will recognize that it's my son, correct, no? So when the mothers were waiting at the door to receive their sons, they all happily returned to their homes. And the mothers picked up their children, took them to the bathroom and bathed them, applied oil in their bodies, scented oils in their bodies, put up a new dress, decorated them with turban and all the ornaments in their bodies, fed them milk. And in this way, mothers were tending to the children. When they are applying the oil in their scented oils in their bodies, the mothers were feeling an extreme affection for their children today. And that is what is being spoken here. Now, why were they feeling so much extreme affection? Here is one amazing point being mentioned here, which only Bhagavatam can mention such a point. What is it? All of you ask yourself, in this world, any mother would love her son more than other sons, or she would love somebody else's son more than her own son. Yeah? You can ask her. Any mother in this world naturally has more affection for her own child, even if that son is not that great also. Like there's a saying in Tamil that which means if a crow, a crow has a newborn baby. But the crow thinks that my baby is the most beautiful baby in the entire world. But if you look at the crow baby, it looks not so beautiful. But the mother feels so. Anybody can say, why is it so? Because of attachment. In their attachment, they imagine so. That is the most beautiful. So, that's what every mother thinks. My son is most dear to me. I am attached to my child. So, he is the best son, no matter what. When they compare the children with others. On the other hand, in Vrindavan, every elderly gopi thought that Krishna is not Yashoda's son, Krishna is my son. All of them thought Krishna is our son. That kind of feeling was there. Everybody felt Krishna so dear to their hearts. That's the very meaning of God. Actually, God means He is supremely attractive in every sense. He is in beauty, in wealth, and knowledge, and fame, and renunciation, and everything. He is best. Like when Krishna becomes a son, he becomes the best son. When Krishna becomes a lover, he becomes the best lover. When he becomes a husband in Dwaraka of queens, he becomes the best husband also. When he becomes a friend of Arjuna in the battlefield, he becomes the best friend. Even the horses which he was riding, what do you think? Do you think he was just riding the horses? He made friendship with the horses. How did he do that? Sometimes he would get off from the chariot and caress the horses. When they felt very tired, you would caress them in their neck and make them drink water and make them sit down and relax. He would massage their feet of the horses. And the horses felt so thankful and grateful to Krishna. When Krishna took them to the battlefield, they were ready to go overboard extra mile in serving Krishna by sacrificing their comfort in the battle because they were taken care. And why did Krishna take care of the horse? Because the horses were serving Arjuna and Krishna wanted to serve the horses. He wanted to become servant of his servants. You can see that. So in this way, he is not only dear to the humans, he is not only dear to gopis, he is also dear to the gopas, the elderly gopis, elderly covered men, even the horses are in Vrindavan, cows, calves, deers, peacocks, monkeys, and everybody. He is dear to everybody. If you read the 10th canto, 15th chapter, Krishna and Balaram are, going with the cows and calves, herding them to the forest. That chapter will give you a glimpse of the kind of attraction that exists in Vrindavan. Like it is said that the trees were extending their branches, offering flowers and fruits to Krishna. And the trees were thinking that, now that Krishna Balaram are entering the forest, how blessed I am. Whatever I have been producing, these flowers and fruits, now I can attain perfection by offering them to Krishna. So Balaram was watching that, and Krishna told Balaram, Bhaiya, look at the trees. They are eager to give you the flowers, pluck those flowers and wear it in your turban. And pluck those fruits and eat them. They will be very satisfied. So Krishna is telling to Balaram, actually they are offering to Krishna only. And the trees are also weeping. Why? Weeping by shedding the gums. Like that the Gopis are saying. Why are they weeping? The trees are looking at the bumblebee. And they are saying that this bumblebee who is sitting in the colorful lotuses in Vrindavan, like there is a yellow lotus, blue lotus, red lotus in the Yamuna. So they are all sitting and sucking honey. A lot of honey is there in those lotuses. But when they saw Krishna Balaram running, they left the lotus honey and they went and sat in the garland of Krishna. And then they can go with the Lord to the forest. So the trees were weeping. Oh, bumblebee, you are so blessed. I am not so blessed like you. You are going to forest with the Lord, but I can't accompany because I am a tree. I can't get out of my place from one place to another. This was the feeling of separation that the trees were feeling. And the bumblebees were relishing the honey of Krishna's beautiful face more than the honey they were relishing in the lotuses. And Yamuna also was fierce Yamuna, became mild Yamuna. Why Yamuna is fierce? Our acharyas have found out. They say that because Yamuna is whose sister? Anybody knows? Yamaraj's sister, yeah. So Yamaraj is fierce in punishing the evil people. So she is sister of Yama. Naturally she is fierce. But when she saw Krishna's beautiful appearance in the forest, she became very mild. That means those people who are aggressive become very mild-natured and humble and grateful in spiritual life. So she became very mild. And then she threw a lotus in Krishna's lotus feet. Like that. Not only that, the deers were looking at Krishna with graceful eyes and welcoming. The cuckoos were cooing and welcoming. Coo, coo. That they make sounds, isn't it? And the peacocks were dancing with their peacock feathers. And they're walking backside like this, moving their wings, welcoming Krishna to the forest. So Prabhupada says the devotees also should welcome by dancing with their hands and legs and doing kirtan with their mouth like the cuckoos and the peacocks. So in this way, Krishna is being welcomed by everybody in the forest, and also the whole forest is filled with lushy green creepers and plants and trees blooming with flowers and laden with ripened fruits, and all the birds chirping joyfully. So this is the kind of attraction you find. And even the demigods and goddesses who are going in the airplanes, when they hear the Krishna's flute, they come down to Vrindavan to stay there for a while and hear the flute sound of Krishna. Even the rishis who are in the caves, they are sitting in a meditative posture with the desire to chant the Om. Om. They're chanting like this. Suddenly when they hear the flute sound, immediately they get up, they get agitated in their mind. Such a sweet sound. So it disturbs their focus even on the impersonal Brahman. They come out of the cave and they want to run to Vrindavan to see Krishna. So in this way, Krishna is attracting the rishis, attracting Brahma, attracting devatas, attracting cows, calves, gopas, gopis, even trees and plants and creepers which are considered to be very less conscious. Even they all became attracted to him. So in this way, the same Lord Krishna, as a small covered boy, now is expanding in the forms of his friends who were received by their respective mothers. And in Vrindavan, Shukadeva Goswami is saying here that the mothers of the covered boys loved Krishna more than their own sons. And this point was captured by Parikshit Maharaj, which he will ask in the later verse. This is very surprising to me. No mother will love another lady's son as much as she loves her own son. How is it that you are saying that they loved Krishna more? Then Shukadeva Goswami will say there, the answer is this: for everybody in this world, their own body is very dear. For us, our body is very dear. That is why we look in the mirror, how I look like, how is my hairstyle. We see different poses also. How I look from this angle, how I look from that angle, from behind how I look, from the front how I look. Is this shirt good enough for me? Do I look smart? Is this pant, how does it look like? How are my shoes? How is my mustache? There are so many types of mustaches also, isn't it? Mustaches and beard and hairstyles and all, isn't it? Why do people see in the mirror? Because we all know very well that the person who is most dear to us is the one whom we see in the mirror, which is ourselves. We are attached. And then when somebody comes out of this body, say if a man is marrying a woman and then they beget a son or a daughter, the child is we are attached to the child because it has come from me. People think like that. It is my extension. So they feel attraction. So in this world, for everybody, their own body is dear. And then the extensions of the body are dear. How do you know that? One experiment scientists conducted. Once they put a monkey and a baby monkey inside a barrel and they were pouring water. As the water level rose, initially the monkey was lifting the baby monkey above the head, in the shoulder and then above the head, wanted to save. But finally when the mother monkey saw that water level is going high, even her life was in danger, she dropped the baby monkey and she wanted to jump out. She was concerned about her life. So what is the conclusion they arrived at? For everybody, their own body is more dear than someone else's body. Even if it happens to be one's own ward also, one's own offspring also. So more than anybody else, our body is dear to us. And why is it dear? Because the soul resides in this body. Therefore this body is dear to us. Once you understand, I am not the body, I am spirit soul. Then naturally understand that I am different from the body. So for me, what is very dear to me? For me, the soul is very dear. My soul is most dear to me. But then soul has someone who is more dear than himself, which is Krishna, who is soul of souls. Atmatmana, it is called. So Krishna is Atma of Atma. Therefore, the soul does not care about himself. The soul cares about Krishna. So therefore you see Ashlishyava Padaratam Vinashtumam. Radharani is saying that, my dear Lord, either you embrace me or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. No matter what you do, you will always remain my unconditional Lord, birth after birth, like that. That's the mood. So Shukadeva Goswami said, for the Jiva, the soul of souls is called as Sarvatmana or Atmatmana, Krishna. He is most dear to everybody. Once you become a pure devotee, you will realize it all the more. So for all these elderly ladies who were mothers of covered boys, Krishna was little more dearer to them than their own sons. But that Krishna has expanded now in the form of their son. So that means, let us assume that their love for the son was X and their love for Krishna was Y. But now Krishna has become their son. So how much love they reposed on their son? Y. Is it clear? So the Y is greater than X. But now that Y type of love has come on X, because they are thinking my son is X. But actually the thing, Krishna is expanded. So that Y amount of love they are showing to X now. That is the point mentioned here. See, previously from the very beginning, the Gopis had motherly affection for Krishna. Indeed, their affection for Krishna exceeded even their affection for their own sons. In displaying their affection, they had thus distinguished between Krishna and their son. That means they loved Krishna Y and they loved their son only X. They distinguished. But now that distinction disappeared. That means now the love for their son and love for Yashoda's son was both Y. How many of you understood this point? It's clear? It's clear? Yeah. So both loves matched now. And what is the reason for that matching? Who can say? Why the love for their son matched with the love for Yashoda's son now?
Because Krishna himself came in all this forms.
Krishna himself had expanded into all the forms. Therefore the love between them, love between their own son and Krishna disappeared. And why did Krishna do this? Because these gopis had longed in their hearts that if only Yashoda's son was our son, we would have bathed him, dressed him, decorated him like our own child and fed him milk. This longing was always there in the hearts of the other elderly gopis. In order to satisfy that yearning, Krishna did this pastime. In this world, Any type of desire you have. Today our devotee was telling, what's your good name? Amitabh. This Amitabh is born in Odisha. So before he was coming to America, he went to Jagannath Puri temple because he has grown up from childhood in Jagannath Puri, in Odisha, with attraction for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. So he thought I should take blessing and permission from the Lord before coming to America. So he went to Jagannath and said, my dear Lord, I don't want to leave you and go. I always want to remain in your shelter. But now that I'm going to America, I don't know what type of friendship will I get, and I won't get association like the way I'm getting here. So please don't leave me, please protect me. That kind of yearning he had. Now he came here, and very quickly Krishna introduced him to this temple here. He met Vanamali Pandit Prabhu and got introduced to him. Same Jagannath sitting here. Jagannath Puri, in Puri, whichever Jagannath sitting here, the same Jagannath has welcomed him here to the temple, connected him to the devotees. So in this way, if you have a longing, then Lord will reciprocate back with your longing. So these gopis had that longing. When will the time come when Krishna will stay with us in our home like our own child? We can bathe him, dress him, decorate him. That desire is now fulfilled. So that is the thing explained here. It's a very amazing pastime it is, and you will continue hearing more about this. Can we take one question? Anybody? Any of you getting late, you can proceed. 5 minutes I am going to answer one or two questions, and then I am going to conclude. Or anybody want to comment or question? Yes. Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Give the mic to him.
Thank you, Prabhu. This was a blissful class. The main key takeaway from me is Krishna is the best lover, and he's the soul of our souls.
Correct. And Prabhupada says, if you make friendship with Krishna, that friend will never die. If you make Krishna as your son, that son will never die. The gopis made Krishna as their lover, and the lover will never die. In this world, what happens? A boy and girl come together, they have a romance for a while, but then parents don't allow them to marry many times because of some caste considerations or something. Then even though both are alive, they are separated in this world. Whereas when one loves Krishna, even after death, when you go back to Godhead, he will remain lover for eternity. Therefore, Prabhupada says intelligence means to connect with Krishna in some relationship, 5 relationships, like that he says. These gopis chose Krishna as their beloved child. So Krishna agreed to, accept their Vatsalya. So similarly, that's one lesson for all of us, that, we are all trying to relate with somebody in this world. And recently, there was one scientist who later on became a devotee also. And this devotee, and he is very intellectual devotee. Everybody used to think that he is a very intellectual devotee. And technical subjects and all, even in Bhagavatam and other things, he can speak very eloquently and he can quote verse after verse and all. Very intelligent. Both in scientific field, he has got many awards. He has got publications in the international magazines and all. Very, very big fellow scientist. Works with the government organization. So recently his mother passed away. So when his mother passed away, he was like totally taken aback by a shock. For 2 weeks he could not utter a word. He became so shocked and he was sobbing like anything that she left. So now why am I telling you this? In this world we all invest our love in somebody, and that somebody who is near and dear one goes away. And that really shatters our heart. Because, for example, say you love the TV. Imagine night you slept, morning you woke up, TV is stolen away by some thief. How much you will cry? That means wherever you invest your love, if that is taken away, we cry. So therefore we should invest our love in Krishna, who can never be taken away. Because Krishna will always exist, you will always exist, and the love cannot be shattered or broken by anybody. It will always continue to exist. That is the main takeaway from this. Yes. Yes.
Prabhu, one question I had is, how does Krishna become a reality for us? Just like people around are real for us.
Yeah.
How
Actually, Krishna becomes reality more and more. Sevon mukhe hi jihvado swayam surate, that is said. Actually, the realization of Krishna in a tangible way happens by various parameters. One parameter is the blessing of a guru or a superior. So, if you have won the heart of a Vaishnava, if they wish that Krishna Matirastu, may this boy become Krishna conscious, they bless you. By their blessing, Krishna becomes a tangible reality for you. That's one way. Another way is when you are enthusiastic for rendering service to Krishna. Say you go to the deity room and wash the pots. When you are washing pots, you remember that these are whose pots I am washing. You are sweeping the floor in the temple hall. Whose floor am I sweeping? Krishna's temple floor, isn't it? You are going and fetching flowers. For whom are you fetching flowers? From the marketplace. You are singing a song. Whose glory am I singing now? So becoming more conscious of performing our bhakti. Sometimes we are absent-minded. Absent-minded means physically present but mentally absent. So that is one of the reasons why the bhakti doesn't sink in our hearts. Because we are very respectful in giving audience by physically being present. But our mind gets into a plan-making mode about something else. Like one example is Chitraketu. When Angira Muni came, he garlanded him, gave him an elevated seat, he offered obeisances, he folded his palm, he sat in a crouched position below the feet of the sage. Everything was perfect. But inside his mind he was very adamant not to accept the mercy of Angira Muni. Angira Muni came to give spiritual knowledge. He told, you give as much knowledge, I am not going to listen to you, I will listen here and leave it here. That was his determination. Because he was attached to having fun. That means if we are materially attached, even a Mahat Sangha does not impact us. Correct, no? So, I told you can receive blessing of great souls, or you can enter service and purify your heart. And also if you are conscious of everything you do in relation to Krishna, that actually gives us ecstasy and also elevation also. But if you are not conscious, if you unconsciously do it in a ritualistic fashion, then also you get benefit, but it's minimal benefit. It's not much benefit. And another reason Krishna says, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apahrita chetasam. He says that our chetana, our consciousness is stolen away by two things. Bhoga means attraction to sex life, and Bhoga Aishwarya means big opulence, big job, big money, big shopping mall, big car, big post, and big fame. So all these are called as Aishwarya. So if somebody is after name, fame, glory, same old story as we say, one is after that, or one is after some woman, then these things practically steal away our consciousness and don't allow us to meditate on Krishna. They steal away our consciousness. So now then what to do with that? Then maybe when we get some kicks from such things, like somebody made a big money, you become a billionaire, and due to some recession he became a beggar. Or somebody was after some woman, and then she suddenly, broke the connection and ran away with another man. Then this fellow is shattered. But it happens or not? Well, it happens like that. So then, like one boy was thinking, I want to marry one particular, but he was very hesitant to express to her. And 1 year, 2 years passed, but he would keep on watching, following her up. Suddenly her parents fixed up her marriage with another boy. And then next week he came to know that she's already walking with another man. Who is that? He found out it's her husband. So he got shattered. Then he came running to Krishna after that. Correct, no? It happens with some people. So in this way, Bhoga Ishwarya attraction, when it is reduced or shattered, then one may take shelter of Krishna. So in this way, the Shastras say that the realization of Krishna consciousness has to be started with Rasohamapsu Kaunteya, those 7-8 verses. When you're walking on the road, the light of the sun is touching you. Krishna is me. You see intelligence of the intelligent, strength of the strong. Those 7-8 verses which are there, it's 7.7 to 13. So those verses, you give a clue that try to see Krishna's hand in everything in the nature first. That's a beginning actually. And then from there you can gradually go ahead to rendering service, becoming purified. And we have to also soak our intelligence, in this type of knowledge for a prolonged period of time, because our mind has become very dulled by material vibrations. So to drive out the material vibration, you have to substitute it with spiritual vibrations. But we have not heard enough spiritual vibrations. So spiritual vibrations is the spiritual knowledge from the scriptures plus spiritual activities also. You soak yourself, wake up in the morning, attend the whole morning program, and keep doing it for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, you will see a big difference, impact. That means keep away from tempting environment, soak yourself like a sponge soaked in water in spiritual activities and spiritual knowledge. And you will find a very big difference in this, in good association. And then the attraction is something which is a very natural attraction, like red hot coal covered with ashes. Like that you blow. Ashes are gone. And then again the coal resumes its nature. Same way it will happen in a very tangible fashion. We actually long for that love for Krishna, but we are not ready to pay the price. We should be willing to pay the price at least a little bit. Then Krishna says, I will reciprocate with you. What is that verse? Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadame buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Tesham, what he says? What is the meaning of satati yuktana? What is the meaning? Satata means what? Always. One who is always engaged in Krishna consciousness. And then bhajatam means those who are doing my bhajan. Priti purvakam. See, these are all adjectives Krishna is putting. He doesn't say tesham yuktanam. What he says? Satata yuktana. It doesn't say bhajatam purvakam. No. Bhajatam priti purvakam. That means you should do singing of a bhajan, chanting the holy name, or rendering devotion service with love. You have to actually, even if one does not have love, one should have respect. One should respectfully perform these activities. Because respect is one stage prior to love. When you respectfully do it, attentively do it, carefully do it, with reverence, then the love will inevitably awaken eventually. So, you have to remember these adjectives. Say, Tesham Satata Yuktana. Satata means don't let the mind wander here and there. Bring the mind to devotion service. Then he says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. I will give you the buddhi by which you can come to me. You will figure out the way how I can awaken that love. And that is a blessing of Guru, blessing of Krishna, blessing of Super Soul. But it's a very important question. And these are all practical pointers I gave. You had a question, one last? Yeah, give the mic to him.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, again a very great lecture. Prabhuji, as we were on topic of love, I just had a doubt that in one scenario in Mahabharata, we see that there were two good devotees of Lord Krishna, one from Pandava's side, one from Kaurava's side, Bhishma and Arjuna. So they were basically they were fighting against each other. But when Bhishma was attacking Arjuna, Lord Krishna got very angry on him. He lifted a chakra, a wheel to
attack.
Throw at Bhishma. Yeah. So I had a doubt that those two are very good devotees, and Lord Krishna loved devotees more than anyone. So in this context,
why Krishna went to attack him like this? Yeah. Actually, Prabhupada says if Krishna wanted to kill Bhishma, like he killed Shishupal, he could have released his chakra and cut off his head. Correct or not? So was he intending to kill him? No. He is just taking the wheel and running, which is actually like a play between lover and the beloved. Sometimes even, your wife tells the husband that you have to come back by 7 o'clock, today is my birthday. And he comes at 10 o'clock. She takes a stick and says, I'll beat you up, like that she says. She doesn't want to kill him. She's just showing her anger. Similarly, actually Lord has one rasa called as Virya Rasa, where he likes to fight, but in spiritual world, nobody is ready to fight with him. Everybody serves him, loves him. So Lord brings his own devotee Bhishma and tells him, you be on that side, I'll be on this side. Let us fight and enjoy the stunt. That's why he has put him there. So, and he's taking the wheel and running towards Bhishma is causing great bliss to Bhishma, because he's also in Virya Rasa, is the Lord. So he is not in a mood to kill Bhishma, he is just playing with Bhishma, we can understand. So clear? Thank you. Shri Prabhupada ki, Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.